Welcome to another Black Flicks and Chill Recap. In today's video, we present to you a 1990 forever classic black comedy movie that captures the dramatic events of black teenagers as they attempt to throw the party of all parties in the movie, titled House Party. To get a true hang of 90s youthfulness, cool energy, and originality, sit back and relax as you are about to watch an all-time favorite Black Flicks movie recap. Our main character is Kid, a confident black teenage boy with hair as tall as a skyscraper. The stuff just sits up there proud and indestructible. If a nuclear blast wipes the rest of the world away, his hair will still stand firm. He wakes up due to his alarm and meets his father, whom he calls Pop, a goofy disciplinarian who does not want to seem unreasonable but believes a kid should always do his homework before any other activity. Pop asks him to prepare for school and eat his food. At the school cafeteria, Kid sits with his two best friends, Play and Bilo. Play takes advantage of his parents' absence by announcing to his friends that he intends to throw a house party. After the party announcement to his friends, Play spots the two hottest girls in school, the tomboyish Sydney and the sexy Sharon. Play has a soft conversation with them about his party, and shortly after, Kid gets into a fight with the school bullies Stab, Pee-wee, and Zilla. If you're wondering who wins the fight, well, Stab raises Kid in the air and punches him with all of his strength. Given that Kid is only able to throw a few weak punches, we already know the winner. After the dramatic fight, they are then sent to the principal's office for punching each other. Stab had called Kid mother a name that, in fact, baffles the principal. "Can you tell me, young man, why in God's name you call his mother a garden tool?" she asks Stab. Kid informs Pop that he wished to attend the dopest party in town, which will be hosted by his friend Play. Pop is hesitant and overly protective of him, but still agrees to let him attend the party after he is done with his homework. The next day, which is the day of the party, the news of the fight gets to Kid's father through a pink letter from school, who in fact fumes and tells him that every little step you take tonight's gonna be right here in this bedroom. He knows his son well enough and threatens to beat him with his belt if he disobeys his orders. Rather than miss the party of the year, Kid disobeys his father and sneaks out of the house anyway. He probably feels everything will be all right at the party, and he will sneak back without his father's attention. Will he be right or wrong? Watch out. Bilo is proudly the DJ for the day and asks his friend Play to come pick him up so he can set up his music equipment early. Play promises to pick him up and ends up coming with a girl in the car. Bilo becomes enraged by this action because a girl occupies the seat where his equipment is meant to be. Eventually, the equipment gets a place in the car, but the DJ does not, which leads to a heated argument between Bilo and the girl. In order to solve the problem, Play offers to take both the girl and the equipment to the party grounds and come back to pick the DJ. Who the hell does that? Well, Play does and ends up picking him up late at night. It appears Bilo has a little bit of patience. Kid sneaks out of his house, dressed like the coolest boy in town, with a weird 90s black jacket until he meets two racist cops who call him Eraserhead. He has a brief talk with the cops before attempting to flee from them. As he rushes toward the road, Stab's car nearly runs him down. Stab is in the car with his two brothers, who tell him to go after Kid because they believe he deliberately runs into them. It seems they did not get enough bullying done at school. They end up chasing him till he jumps the fence and finds himself in an oversized man's garden who is furiously having sex with a woman. In a twinkle of an eye, the man brings out a gun and shoots at Kid, who misses the shot. Kid jumps back out and runs for his life. Still trying to run from the bullies, he ends up at an adult gala party where he helps the DJ choose the right song for the party. The three bullies trace him to the adult gala party and end up having a fight with Kid and the DJ. The cops arrive at the scene, separate them from fighting, and punish them for interrupting the adult party. Thankfully, the adults do not charge any damages. Finally rescued from the hands of the bullies, Kid arrives at the party. As advertised, the party is going off. It's very infectious, watching these kids run through their 90s dances, their raps, their haircuts, and even their clothes, all of which feel completely their own. The three bullies pursue Kid to the party in an effort to apprehend him. Play observes this, denies them entry, and warns them that no hoods are allowed in my party. In response to the rejection, Stab says, "I smell pussy." To which Kid responds, "Yeah, we would smell like pussy to a bunch of dicks." Kid closes the door immediately to avoid being beaten by the bullies. Stab threatens them and asks them to come out if they have the power to face him. Kid opens the door and replies, "Hey Stab, I would really love to come out and play with you, but I'm a little busy right now with your girl on my lap." Kid's actions and expression made the statement even more humiliating, but he closes the door again. After the statement, Stab runs to open the door with his shoulders but ends up hurt. He feels very humiliated and decides to burn down the house in retribution. His two brothers, Pee-wee and Zilla, are repulsed by the idea, and although they force Stab to always chase Kid, they both admit that the idea is too extreme. Stab believes his brothers are not backing him and asks, "Do I smell pussy?" in a way that makes them wonder if they are afraid of the consequences. Stab still goes ahead to get fuel and matches anyway. He is already trying to pour fuel around the house. I mean, how can someone be so mean enough to burn down a house with a lot of people inside? Well, when he asks for a light, the police shine a torch on him, catching him in the act. While all this is going on, Pop is awake from his night's slumbers and goes out in search of his prodigal son. On his way out, he encounters the same racist cops that stopped his son. They try to do the same to him, but eventually let him go after they realize he's in no mood for any time wasting events. Can we talk about Play, the party host? For the party, he wears a box-shaped haircut, a green and beige suit that's literally oversized, funny-looking shoes, an over-the-top way of welcoming friends, and, in fact, is the main man in his mind. He is usually surrounded by hot girls, either kissing or sleeping around, more like a Casanova. The amusing part of the house party for a bunch of high school kids is that they got no drinks or food, just jams and dance steps. A lady, who doesn't seem interested in the dance jam, approaches Play and asks if there is no refreshment. Play then replies, "Mama should have fed you before you came here. You need food. Go down the street to get some. It's a party, not a restaurant." The dope party is still ongoing, and while at the house, Kid tries to get either of the hottest girls in school to dance with him. Apparently, where is this chemistry between sexy Sharon and hot-looking Kid that sparks emotions between the two teenagers? Bilo also tries to get the beautiful Sydney to dance with him. She is clearly not interested in dancing with anybody but Kid, so she turns him down and asks him to dance with other girls who are free. Meanwhile, Play's neighbor tries his best to get the dope party shut down. He calls the cops and his landlord and tells them he pays more than enough bills, but these teenagers will not let him have a good night's rest. The iconic dance-off begins with Kid and an older guy who subsequently falls to the floor due to drunkenness. They engage in a dance battle with Sharon and Sydney, who were also showing off their best moves. The older guy was then replaced by Play, who excels at the dance routines. It's very classic, especially when Kid shows his buddies a new step and the entire group joins in on an impromptu dance routine full of cheers, applause, and joyful moments. The DJ was also smashing it, delivering an intense and upbeat dance feeling with his songs. Kid and Play also engage each other in a good-natured rap battle, challenging each other to higher and higher flights of hip-hop lyrical wordplay. The party is for sure the biggest in town, and the rap battle proves to be loved by everyone, making the party even more fly. Kid switches dance partners, and Sydney thinks he is all over her, probably because she likes him. However, Sydney gets jealous when she sees Kid all over her best friend too. She changes her mood and goes to sit down. To be honest, Kid is really all over Sharon, not Sydney. Y'all ever witness a girl that wants you so bad and yet tries to deny it? Watch out for this scene. It's going to blow your mind. So after Kid notices that Sydney is sitting alone, he goes to her and asks her to dance with him. One will think she will jump at the offer because she has a crush on him, but she declines because Kid wants to get her best friend too. He tries to have various conversations with her and she shuts him down, but then wants to get mad when he gets up and dances with her friend. Eventually, Pop makes his way to the party and demands to know where his son is. He hears different excuses from the kids and even threatens to use his belt when a kid talks rudely by telling him to go home and watch the late Pop show. Kid, on the other hand, is upstairs with Sharon, who wants to get her coat so she can leave the party. Sydney tries to stop Kid's father from going upstairs. It appears she wants to save her crush so he will not get into trouble with his father. Pop leaves the party, vows to wait for Kid at home, and determines to beat him when he gets back from the party. It's amusing how certain he is that Kid is actually present at the party. Sydney and Sharon leave the party, and Kid escorts them to their houses. He gets into a conversation with Sydney that almost leads to a passionate makeout. Before the makeout attempt, Sydney objects to it and demands to know what Kid really wants after she had seen him try to kiss her best friend. Kid confesses that although Sharon was his first choice, but not anymore, because after he gets the opportunity to have a conversation and get to know her, he wants her. The answer is as satisfactory as anything for a crush. She could barely resist his touch, but he has to leave to avoid being caught by her parents, who are just back from a party reunion. Back at the party, Play ends the party when he realizes that the bathroom is in a mess and needs a thorough cleaning before his parents get back. Kid wants to get back to the house, but meets yet another problem with Stab and his brothers, who want to get him. Kid runs into another man's house just to escape them, but they do not back off. While chasing him, they see a mouse that scares the shit out of them, making them lose Kid for a while. Stab summons courage and hits the mouse. They continue chasing Kid, who sees two guys being chased by a dog. Kid sees the black dog approaching him, which prompts him to dive into a refrigerator for protection. Unable to close the door, the dog does the honor, causing him to remain stranded in the refrigerator until the bullies find him. The cops arrive and try to catch the two guys who were being chased by a dog. The two guys release the item they were running with, which mistakenly hits the cop's car and damages it. Back at the scene, the police eventually apprehend the bullies, and they all end up in jail, including Kid. Did you hear me say jail? Yes, jail. Little Kid ends up in jail. Kid calls his friend Play to bail him out of prison. Play and Bila look for ways to get money from Sharon and Sydney in order to bail out their friend, as they do not have much cash on them. The four friends Play, Bila, Sydney, and Sharon go to bail out their friend. Kid makes a friend, gets bullied again by the prison men, but tries to stay strong and distract them with his rapping until his friends come to bail him out. Play drives them to their homes one after the other, and they all say their good nights, but Kid and Sydney top it and share a long, passionate goodnight kiss. After Play drops him off, he tries to sneak into his house and get undressed. As he prepares to go to bed, he looks up to see his father with the belt and tells him, "I wouldn't do that just yet, because your ass is mine." Can you remember when Pop told Kid that he will beat his ass at the beginning of the movie? Well, we hear Kid scream like a little girl as he is inevitably punished. At the end of the movie, we hear some extremely high-pitched shrieks of pain as he dances to his father's tune. Very daring for someone who can't even take some belt strokes without shrieking and screaming. If he had listened to his father, he would probably be on a flight to Paris in his dream. Well, not too bad. He earns himself a girlfriend. House Party is a comedy movie that demonstrates youthful energy and the fact that the youth age can also be fun, pure, and free from negative societal activities. It was refreshing to see a film about young black people that wasn't about drugs, social problems, or anything else. House Party is actively starred by Christopher Reid, the lead character, the one with the weird hair, Christopher Martin's Kid's best friend, Robin Harris, Kid's dad, Martin Lawrence, Kid and Play friend and DJ, Tisha Campbell as Sydney and AJ, Johnson as Sharon, the sexiest girl in school, all of which delivered outstanding performances in their respective roles. House Party has gone on to become a cult classic, and in 2022, the film was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. Thanks for watching. What do you think about this movie? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe to our channel for more black movie recaps like this.